guys, welcome back. Charlie Ward, PPN in the house. Charlie Ward, the man, the myth, the legend. Good to have you, man.
It's lovely to be with you. I've just arrived back from Ireland, where we had our charity golf event, which was outstanding. It was great. A lot of people came in from America and Canada for it. It was brilliant. Awesome. A lot of people from Europe as well. And we had an amazing time. But while we were there in Ireland, we managed to watch the charade of what happened. Look, for those people that are awake and aware, Trump, it was all on mainstream media as he left Florida on Trump Force One and went up to New York. Now, you have to ask yourself the question why mainstream media was so much wanting to watch this. What they have to watch him take off, land in the air and everything else. And when it lands at New York, it zoomed in very closely on the stairs. But the minute that Trump walks out, it pans back and is blurry. Why? For the audience, I'm asking, why was that? I've watched Trump for the last 3 years closely. I would suggest, I don't know, but that was not Trump. Maybe it was a body double or whatever it was. I don't know. But it didn't walk like Trump. It didn't wave like Trump. Then when they got into the motorcade, there was one vehicle in that motorcade that is only allowed in that motorcade for a sitting president, and that was the ambulance. 001. So there's a lot of pointers out there. This is a Charlie sense of humor. Wouldn't it be funny if he wasn't in the car that they thought he was, but he was actually in the ambulance driving it?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
But, at this point, nothing's really surprising outside of just waiting for the movie to be over. It seems like this is a running theme where it gets really ridiculous, Charlie, in terms of what's the mainstream media is pushing out. And for us that are awake or awake to some degree and actually recognize this, see this on mainstream media, you kind of sit there like, I can't believe they're actually going through with this. I can't believe they're actually, putting this out there to the masses.
Yeah. And it's very interesting that the people that don't like Trump on the media side, MSNBC and CNN, they're incredibly disappointed that there wasn't anything of substance in the indictment, because the indictment was 43 or 34 different indictments, but they were the same indictment written in different formats. I mean, it was almost like he went to the university and said, right, I need 34 students to write this exact indictment in 34 different formats. You can't be exactly the same. It looks like that. And it looks like with some of them, they maybe have given them to the children in primary school, not university.
It's copy and paste, copy and paste.
Exactly. So this had to happen. We said it before it happened. It had to happen. And we saw beforehand when they raided Mar-a-Lago. I'm still trying to understand, first of all, when they raided Mar-a-Lago, they 100% had evidence that he had stuff there that he shouldn't have. And then within 2 or 3 weeks, there was nothing there, nothing to see. And then this is what I don't quite understand, other than the person who wrote the script for the pantomime has got a very naughty sense of humor, because instead of raiding Biden's house, they were invited there by the lawyer to say that we've actually found some documents in his house by mistake. Well, if that was my lawyer, Chaz, he'd be dead by now.
Right.
I mean, that's not a very good lawyer that drops his client straight in it. So whoever wrote this script is having a little bit of naughty fun there, I think.
It's amazing what's transpiring right now. As I look into the chat, Charlie, a lot of our UK brothers and sisters, for whatever reason, are being blocked on certain platforms now.
Yep.
They're really centering over in the UK. Do you know exactly some of the things that are happening over there right now? Or I'm sure you're probably experiencing it too with you and your team.
Oh, they're desperate. They're desperate to stop the truth coming out. In the UK, it's intimidation. We're seeing it actually intimidation. But fortunately, there's enough people awake right now who are aware of their position under the law of the land, under common law. and they're holding their own against the police. And then they're pointing out to the police and the bullies and the authorities that we've been misled and lied to by the government. So the only people that are standing up against a lie. And once they're told, it's up to you as police officers and law enforcement, whatever, to make your choice which side you want to be on. But here is the evidence that we have, and it tears apart their evidence. This is why they don't want to debate it, because they can't defend it. Because the truth is they've got no defense, because their agenda, which is clearly written out in the World Economic Forum website, is to reduce the population by 95% by 2030. And you have to remember right now, they're running behind time. The vaccines didn't work as well as they wanted them to. The virus didn't work as well as they wanted to, because people stood up against them. And what I'm very interested to see, because of the type of person that I am, how many people are statistically vaccinated, on the list as vaccinated, but have got the certificate but never had the jab. Because I've spoken to a handful in the last 2 days. And if I've spoken to a handful, there's probably hundreds of thousands who've done it.
It's wild with what's happening. Did you hear about the Cash App founder being found dead in San Francisco?
Yes.
A lot of people are being, cut off. And I'm sure this is part of it. I'm sure you were probably, obviously, I know you talked briefly about this as well, to be expected. This is kind of part of, hey, having to get rid of some of the evil. Do you have any insight on that or anything?
I don't. Look, I got asked when I was in Ireland, was I worried about my life? And because of the amount of people that suddenly are randomly dying for lots of different reasons that are suspicious. There's a lot of things going on. And every day I wake up, I realize, Chaz, that my work for God is not yet complete.
Amen.
Because when my work is complete, God will take me home. So the fact that I woke up this morning means that my work is not complete. I've got more to do. And that's how I've lived my life, that it was a calling to do this. And God called you, he called me, he called many of us to do things. And he will provide the protection that we need. And he will, there are, I have to be careful with this one. There are out there truthers that are doing it for all the wrong reasons, and they're trying to infiltrate us.
Right.
And I will shout out this now, that I don't promote any particular cryptocurrency to sell or buy. We've been hacked yet again on Telegram, pretending to me. But fortunately, Chaz, a bit like you, we've managed to find out where they live. The hacker. It's in Iceland. So if you're in Iceland, keep looking through your letterbox, because somebody's going to pay you a visit.
Wow. Good for you, Charlie. Good for you. I thought we'll have any more issues with them. Hey, by the way, Robert F. Kennedy threw his hat in the ring, so to speak, for 2024. What's your thoughts on that?
I like Robert Kennedy a lot. The whole family have been through so much in their lives. Just remember, every single time we get something come out, this is 5th generation warfare. We've never been through this before, Chaz. I'm still trying to work it out. I sent a message to General Flynn this morning. I'm still trying to work it all out. It's because they're so good at distraction. And of course, we should point out at this stage that the whole Trump thing was 100% distraction for the collapse of the US dollar. That's probably the biggest important message. The US dollar is on its last legs, and they don't want you to see that.
They're saying the vote went through in Iraq, that the actual vote went through in regards to disregarding getting rid of the fiat dollar. And
that's gone through.
Yeah.
Kenya, the Kenyan president basically said, if you got dollars, get rid of them within the next 2 weeks. That was a week ago. And of course, this weekend is Easter. Lots of things happening over Easter. But this is what the whole distraction, everything right now is to distract away from the collapse of the US dollar. And Biden's managed to do it far quicker than they expected.
Well, something's got to give, because I can only imagine my Jennifer, she went to the grocery store, and over here, it's nuts how much inflation. I pray for those that, are in need or heck, you having to work 2 to 3 jobs just to make ends meet.
Yep.
That's not what life is all about. And I know we're going to go through a little bit of a hard time here. And you've talked about this several times, learn how to grow your own food.
Yep.
Learn how to be able to be self-sufficient, not having to be, reliant on anyone. And it couldn't be more important as it is right now. Yes, $7 for a carton of eggs, Charlie.
Wow.
$7.
How many eggs do you get in there?
I'm assuming a dozen.
Wow.
I laugh. Okay, yeah, 12 exactly. Yeah, a dozen. People are saying learn how to grow chickens as well. But a lot of people, I can get the sense with frustration, especially here in the States, the frustration of those that are either awake or not awake from just kind of the pressure of finances, the pressure of nothing is in everyone's in front of the masses, anything happening to some degree. We know things are happening behind the scenes, just like you said, that it was a huge distraction with Trump. No question about it. Now, I've heard that it was also on the backside that supposedly the fake Biden did the first veto was the social credit system in regards to possibly the cabal trying to get that up and going here in the States. Have you heard anything about that?
I heard about it, but I suppose I'm on sort of a different frequency from that, because we knew that it doesn't matter what Biden signs at the moment. This is all pantomime. It's all done out of a theatre to wake people up. Your audience and my audience nearly all are awake now. They're wide awake. So they're going, this is very much for those people that are asleep, to see if they react to it or not as to what's going on. Because, first of all of the executive orders that Trump signed when in office, not one of them's been revoked, not one. Right. The other thing is all the executive orders that Biden has signed were signed in a studio. They're not official. This is all pantomime being shown to the public to get them to react. Your audience and my audience, apart from the newcomers, are very, very aware of this, that the pantomime is going on. They're seeing what they can get away with, seeing how they can wind people up, see if they can get people to wake up. But I've said for a long time now, Chaz, the only way to wake these people up is when they go to the ATM and they can't draw cash out, or they go and buy some food and their card doesn't work. When they realize they've got no money and they haven't listened to us telling them to prepare for the future, then they will be in the position through their own stupidity because they haven't listened. The old saying in England, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. You and I have been bringing people to the water. Some people have drunk and some people have not. And that's where we're at right now. And the one thing I will say on this is, people say, so why should I trust you, Charlie, over against anybody else? The truth is, I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to trust yourself. Go within. Start using common sense. Women have it intuitively. Women have it. They know. They can tell you if something's right or wrong straight away. And we need, as men, to be on the same frequency so that we do understand if something is right or something is wrong. I've had something today, and I had a number of things over the weekend, the last weekend, that I had to deal with. And rather than go my usual way about it, I just simply relaxed and prayed and asked God for his guidance. And he guided me. It wasn't the way I thought it was, first of all, because I was pushing my thoughts. But God, that wasn't God's plan. That wasn't God's thought. So I would say to everybody watching this, when you hear something from Chaz, from anybody else, if you're still watching the television, that's sad, but if you are, then go within and see if it resonates with you, rather than just sitting there like a sponge, taking in whatever they throw at you.
From all of that taking place to now, we're hearing about, Russian military vessels that are currently docking over in Saudi Arabia for the first time ever.
Yes.
I thought that was very interesting. That's a kind of a telltale sign. And with that taking place, but you're not hearing a word about it on mainstream media at all. It's quite amazing.
The only thing you're hearing is about the U.S. military closing in on North Korea. And I tell you what, it would not surprise me one little bit if North Korea blew the U.S. Navy out of the water there.
Is that right?
It wouldn't surprise me at all, because we will not be needing the military in a peaceful world. And of course, the rest of the European countries that have sent over all their weapons to Ukraine, none of them work. So it's almost like they're going to be blown up as a symbolic thing. And when I saw the military heading over there, I thought to myself, that's interesting. You take out 4 or 5 of those, and including the big fella that's drifting into the North Korean peninsula there, that would send shockwaves through the residency that's in America right now. And it'd be very interesting to see how they would react.
Well, not only with that, but also you've got Ukraine now is it official that they have become a member of NATO, and that's kind of a setup within itself. So if something goes down, they're going to drag us into it, the big false flag. Yeah. But Charlie, we're hearing a lot of chatter, and you touched on it earlier, talking about Trump's double. Or whatever you would like to call that. Not Trump, but somebody pretending to be Trump, of a potential fake assassination that would be blasted out. I know about 2-3 years ago, Flynn was talking about something briefly like that happened. Wouldn't be surprised if that was to take place, that was very powerful back then. I thought it was kind of like, off and left field. That was, of course, me newly waking up, so to speak. But now, seeing how things are manifesting, and what you pointed out too, seeing that with Trump, where they zoom in and they zoom right back out and blurry, and it's kind of leaning that way for something to kind of jar everybody, especially here in the States, because it seems like everyone's kind of in a lull. And they're kind of just sitting here, especially the ones that are in front of the telly, as you would say. And they just sit there and they glue to it. And it's getting kind of ridiculous. It really is.
It goes back to what I said earlier about when my work is complete, God will take me home. That's no different than Donald Trump. When Donald Trump's work is complete, then God will take him home. And the one thing I'm not scared of, and I'm sure he's not, especially in the world we're living in right now, is going home to be with my creator. For years, there's people living in fear of dying. I lost the fear of dying 14 years ago when I lost my firstborn son. I just thought I could go and be with him. So, we're being used for a reason right now. And when we've completed our work, because without a question, you've been called, I've been called, Donald Trump has been called to do a job. And that's what we're all doing. And when we have completed that job, and not before, God will take us home. It's that simple. And there's a lot of people out there right now who would willingly leave this shit show and go back to be with their creator.
We're hearing reports that CERN is back in the news.
I've not heard anything.
Yeah. CERN, see here. This was, what are they calling it? It's the world's most powerful particle accelerator.
Yes.
They've built another one, or they've added on to the existing one, and it's back out in the news again. Okay. A lot of people are talking about, Charlie, a portal. This has the capability of opening up a portal of some degree. A lot of people are talking. Yeah, they're saying CERN is terrifying. Do you know much about CERN?
I don't. I know it was under Lake Geneva in Switzerland.
Okay.
And it's exactly what you said it was. And it was shut down, but I haven't heard any more since then, no.
Charlie, they're going to start taking away our light bulbs away from us here in the States.
Well, look, they desperately want everyone to use the LED light bulbs because they're not good for you.
Right.
So
they're still manipulating the stock market over here, of course, and everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's about the get even gooder because from what I'm understanding, it's crashing pretty hard. I don't know, and no one has a time frame here. No one knows, only God knows. But Charlie, it's getting to a point to where everything that you've been talking about for the last 3 years, it's finally coming in fruition. It's finally now the puzzle pieces are coming together, and people can actually see it for themselves and do their own discernment.
The banking system is in absolute turmoil, so they need distraction like the Trump issue, and they'll need plenty more to try and distract the public away because the US is no longer the currency of the world.
That's right.
And ever since Putin said, not only do you can pay us in gold-backed rubles, you can pay us in gold-backed yuan, which is the Chinese currency. And they're already trading. Now, when we start seeing deliveries of weapons from Russia to Saudi Arabia, that's when America will go, hang on. What are we doing here? Because Saudi Arabia has already detached itself from the petrodollar and is working with Russia and China. And it's happened everything's happened in the last two and a bit years.
Yep.
You've gone from being a superpower with people working, with everybody getting on, apart from the politicians, but the normal people getting on, the quality of life for all races in America was good, to a rigged election with Biden getting in and destroying the whole of the US in a very short period of time, considering how successful you were. Now, as bad as that is, Trump's last message was, we will make America great again. And that is true. But as he said many years ago now, he's draining the swamp, and that's taking time.
We got to turn into a bird sanctuary.
Yeah.
Right, Charlie.
Exactly.
Hey, what's your thoughts on the massive amount of gold that China's importing in? Talking about the central banks for 4 straight months has been going after nothing but gold. Just absolutely just buying as much as they can get their hands on, to a point to where there's others out there that are restricting the central bank from buying any more. Have you heard anything on that front?
Well, the old banking system in America, they wanted to bring in the CBDC, which was not asset-backed, and they wanted then FedNow, which is not asset-backed. And then it will be down to the people. There will be those, Chaz, that choose that. That's fine. That's their choice. They will remain enslaved in the system because it's made to look something it's not. And people will see that it's a bit like a mousetrap. A nice piece of cheese there, and suddenly your head's off. This is what's happening right now. And this is why, because of Operation Warp Speed, it's been moved so fast. Oh, hang on. It's been moved so fast. I got to 1 second.
Oh, you're fine.
That's what was I trying to think what I was talking about?
About Operation Warp Speed.
It sped everything up.
Yes, sir.
It sped everything up. So they've been caught out. They wanted to have this done by 2030. That was their agenda. But now it's been exposed for what it really is. That's where they are right now. I mean, they're being exposed. They're rushing it. They're making mistakes. But this was all part of the plan for the good guys. And also, it's important to know that this plan has been in place now. They've set this plan. I knew about it more than 12 years ago, and I wasn't the first. I reckon this has been in the planning for 20 years, maybe more. It's very, very, very well planned out, and they're not making any mistakes, and they're not taking any risks. That's why it's taking so long.
I see Alex in the chat here, one of the anchors. He said he had some breaking news coming in. Over $600 million worth of nickel stolen from the LME warehouse. I'm not familiar with LME. Are you, Charlie? Does that ring a bell to you? LME. 600 million worth of nickel stolen.
The London Metal Exchange.
Yeah, isn't that where they changed out? Like it was supposed to be some type of either a special type of diamonds or this, but it was changed out for something that was rubbish. Really, it was. I can't think of. Is that connected with that?
It could be. But look, if we look at the bigger picture, is this will all be distraction. Because the banking world, it's not just America that's collapsing. The European Union's collapsing.
Look at France.
Yeah, France, Holland. It's all collapsing. So anything like this is perfect distraction. Whether it's man-made earthquakes, man-made disasters, train derailments, loads of them.
Yes.
All of these things are distraction, as the banking system worldwide is collapsing. And thank God that China, Russia, India, Brazil, they've come together and set up their own financial system so that we are not all dependent on a failed banking system.
Yeah.
But on the way out, the failed banking system is obviously bitter and twisted that they're losing power because their power comes from money. Now they've got no money. And that's when you have somebody that used to be powerful when they had money and now they don't have money, they don't have anything other than money, they become dangerous. So just be careful.
Speaking of earthquakes, Charlie, it looks like everybody's chiming in. Oklahoma had a States had a fairly sizable earthquake, not to mention the massive tornadoes that have run through here, and with HARP and weather manipulation. And it's crazy how much they're having to distract us. And people are suffering because of it. And we need to be praying for those as well that are casualties of this, because this is a new type of war, fifth generation, as you would say, Charlie, that we are involved in right now, even as we're here on either your phone or on your TV or on your computer. All we're trying to do, Charlie and myself, is just try to get the truth out, keep people aware of what's going on. That's all we ever do. That's what Charlie's been doing from the get-go, just to say, hey, be aware. This is what it looks like it's going towards. I know we've only got a couple minutes left, Charlie, but is there anything that you would want to wrap up with? Anything particular that's on your mind?
Happy Easter.
Easter to you.
Look, it's exciting. We're seeing everything happen. I would wish your audience and my audience a wonderful time with their families at Easter. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of distraction, but we'll keep you informed as to what happens.
Amen. April 29th, Charlie will be in Bowie, Texas with us. You can go to theppnstore.com to get your tickets. Charlie, we look absolutely forward to seeing you and getting to hang out, break some more bread with you, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really cool.
I look forward to it,
and I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to change that, because I know it wasn't easy. And I just want to tell you thank you, because a lot of folks here in America can't wait to see you. So,
looking forward to seeing you.
Amen. All right, my friend.
Cheers, buddy.